Hi fellows, I'm just about to tell you the rest of our story. A Tale of Two Cities, written by Charles Dickens, published by Oxford Bookworm Library, and this is chapter 4 of the story. And in the previous story we met Charles Dickens, the person who was accused of spying on army. And now we want to meet another person, another new character, the Marquis of Evermonde. Let's read. The Marquis of Evermonde was a disappointed man. He had waited for hours at the palace, means castle, of the King of France, but the king had not spoken to him. Angrily, the Marquis got into his coach and told the driver to take him home. Very soon, the coach was driving fast out of Paris, and the people in the narrow streets had to run to get out of the way, if they could. At the corner of a street in Saint-Antoine, one of the coach wheels hit something. Oh, that doesn't look good. And the people in the street screamed loudly. They might have hit a person. The horses were frightened and stopped. Yes, I think they may have hit a passenger. Now the Marquis is talking calmly. "What has gone wrong?" asked the Marquis calmly, looking out of the window of the coach. A tall man had picked something up from under the feet of the horses and was crying loudly over it. Wow, somebody has been murdered, somebody has been killed. "Why is that man making that terrible noise?" asked the Marquis impatiently. Impatiently means restlessly, the opposite of patiently. So impatiently means restlessly. One of the people, "I'm sorry, Monsieur the Marquis. It is his child." And the man holding the child, "Dead, killed," he's screamed the man. The people in the street came close to the coach and looked at the Marquis with his stony, silent faces. The people's faces were expressionless. They were stony. The poor people in the corner of Saint-Antoine, they were stony, and their faces were expressionless, without any expression. The Marquis looked back at them in bold dislike. To him, they were no more than animals. "I can't understand," he said coldly, "why you people cannot take care of yourselves and your children. I hope my horses are not hurt. He just killed someone and he's worried about his horses. Money cannot make up for a death of a child." "Dead!" shouted the father of the child again. Another man came forward. "Be brave, Gaspard. Your child has died quickly and without pain. It is better to die like that than to go on living in these terrible times." Marquis, "You are a sensible man." Sensible means with sense, with wisdom, with prudence. "You are a sensible man," said the Marquis from his coach. "What is your name?" The stranger, "They call me Defarge, so this is Master Defarge, our character that we met in chapter 2. And in this picture we are seeing the location, the setting Saint-Antoine, and dead, shouted the father of the child, the coach of Marquis, hitting the child and killing him. "This is for you," said the Marquis, and he threw Defarge another gold coin. "Drive on" means continue driving. Drive on means continue driving. He called to his driver. Just as the coach was leaving, a coin was thrown. Past participle of throw. A coin was thrown back in through the window. The Marquis looked angrily at the corner where Defarge had been standing. Defarge had gone. At the corner there now stood a large, dark-haired woman, knitting. Isn't she Madame Defarge? She stared long and hard at the face of the Marquis, but he did not look at her and drove on. Drove on means continued driving. Drove is the past of drive. Later that day, as the sun was going down, the same coach stopped in a village near the Marquis' castle. Several villagers are people who live in a village. Several villagers in poor thin clothes, with thin hungry faces, were standing in the village square. The Marquis looked at the faces and then pointed to one of them. He didn't go directly to his castle. "Bring that man to me," he said to his driver. The man came up to the coach, hat in hand, and the other villagers moved closer to listen. "I passed you on the road just outside the village," said the Marquis. So he passed the man. So the man, the villager, was a passenger, maybe. He was a passerby. "You were looking at my coach in a very strange way. Why was that?" Answer: "Monsieur, I was looking at the man," came the reply. "What man?" asked the Marquis angrily. "The man who was holding on under your coach." To hold on means to wait, means to stop, said the poor man, trembling with fear. Trembling with fear. "What was he like?" Marquis. "Oh, monsieur, he was white from head to foot, all covered with dust, just like a ghost." Somebody under the coach? What are they talking about? "Where is he now? What happened to him?" "Oh, he ran away down the hill outside the village." Ran away? Who are they talking about? The Marquis turned to speak to another man. This was Monsieur Gabelle, the Marquis' official in the village. Official is an authority or public body that they have some responsibilities. They do some activities. "Gabelle," the Marquis said, "watch out for this man. If he comes here, put him in prison." When the Marquis arrived at his castle, he asked if his nephew, Monsieur Charles, had arrived from England. "Not yet, sir," replied the servant. But as the Marquis was eating his dinner, he heard the sound of a coach outside. Soon his nephew entered the room. In England, he was known as Charles Dickens. This is how the Marquis is related to Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens is the nephew of the Marquis. "You've been away for a long time," said the Marquis, with his cold, polite smile. "I've had many problems in England, perhaps because of you," Dickens said to his uncle. "I was in great danger." No, I had nothing to do with your problems," replied the Marquis coldly. "Unfortunately, our family no longer has the power that it once had." The answer: if it still had that power, one vote from you would doubtless, without any doubt, send me to prison, said Dickens. "Possibly, for the good of our family." "The name of our family is hated everywhere in France. We are hard, cruel landowners." Landowner, person, people who own land, especially a large land or large amount of land. "Our miserable people own nothing. They work for us night and day, but they don't even have enough food for themselves and their children. If their land become mine, I would give it away and to go and to live somewhere else." Well, Charles Dickens doesn't agree with the way of his uncle. "You seem to be very fond of England, although you're not a rich man there," said the Marquis. "I believe you know another Frenchman who has found a safe home there. A doctor, I believe." "Yes." "With a daughter?" "Yes." This Marquis seems a little mischievous. "Yes," said the Marquis with a secret smile on his face. "So a new way of life begins. But you are tired. Good night, Charles. Sleep well. I shall see you in the morning." Well, this Marquis seems to be the antagonist of the story. "You seem to be very fond of England," said the Marquis. This person is how Marquis looks like. After his nephew had gone to bed, the Marquis went to his room. The castle was surrounded with darkness. In the villages nearby, the hungry people dreamt past of dream of a better life, with enough food to eat and time to rest from their work. Early in the morning, the dreamers, people who were dreaming, awoke and started their day's hard work. The people in the castle did not get up until later. But when they did, why did the great bell start ringing? What is a great bell and why is it ringing? Why did people run out of the castle to the village as fast as they could? Could it be a fire or some danger in the castle? That this castle, the bells are ringing and people are running toward villages. Why did people run out of the castle? to the village as fast as they could. This is the first sentence. The answer lay in the bed of the Marquise. He lay there, like stone. He's dead. With a knife pushed into his heart. He's murdered. This is foul play. On his chest lay a piece of paper with the words, drive him fast to his grave. This is from Jacques. Who is this character? Now I think this might be the end of chapter 4. Mr. Marquis is dead. And let's see, do you know the meaning of these words that you met during the story? Impatiently, sensible, villagers, holding on, official, landowners. Thank you. This was the end of chapter 4, and I'm going to see you again on chapter 5. So until then, so long.